Now that I'm back in my apartment, there are quite a few organization projects that I want to tackle, and one of the first ones that I am tackling is my stationery. I know there's a lot of you who are like me and love stationery, so I figure you'll enjoy coming along with me throughout this process. I'm going to take you along with me from start to finish. I think this is going to be a really fun time. Stationery and organization are two of my favorite things. Put them together and it's a party. At least for me, my kind of party. So without further ado, let's get into it. I guess the most natural place to start is to give you a look at the current state of the stationery. I feel like we need to get you off the tripod for that. Majority of my stationery lives right here on the top shelf. Here's just an overview. And for the most part, like, this area isn't looking too bad. There's some things here I gotta deal with. Random things here. This, don't really know what's going on in those. School books below. All in all, not horrible. But something about this arrangement isn't quite doing it for me. I don't think I'm gonna get to these books today or this side of the cupboard. I'm really just focusing on the stationery. I might do a whole other video for reorganizing my office. So if you wanna see that, let me know below. But that's that. And we've got my stationery cart, which, as you can see, has gotten a little chaotic at the bottom here. Yes, I am on my knees right now. I showed myself organizing this cart last year, and for the most part, I've kind of kept things the way that I showed in that video. Obviously, there's a little bit more stuff on here, but I do recommend checking out that video. And I've loved using this cart. I got it mostly to solve the problem of me sometimes like doing my bullet journaling work in the living room or the kitchen and having to go back and forth from my office to those areas to get stuff. And this has definitely solved that problem. But the one thing that I feel like right now that I'm doing is that I'm using most of the products in the cart, but I'm not doing enough to go to my cupboard and get new stationery products, so I don't feel like I'm really using all of my things. And the same applies for having some stationery in my desk. I've got things here and some things here, mostly this section right here. I want to get this out of here because I never go for my crayons or my stamps. I have like all these things at the bottom there. So my main goal is to get all of my stationery in this cupboard, and I want this cart to pretty much be empty so that whenever I have a project, I have to go in here, pick out the products I want, and I can put them here and have room to store other things that I might need. But I don't want to use this as like a storage unit. I want this to be a mobile working station. And then I would be free to also use it for when I'm filming other videos, because sometimes I have things I want to keep on hand, but this cart is really occupied by, right now, a lot of loose paper. We're just gonna clean it up a bit. I think that gives you a good overview of what's currently happening. So the first step is going to be taking out everything, giving everything a wipe down, and just giving us a blank slate to work with. Let's do it. About this, look at this cute little bookmark. It's from a local company, I think, called Crafted Van. Really cute. That's good. A piece of paper there, paper everywhere. Just gonna take this out. This is the current state of the room. I have so many pens, oh my goodness, and markers and things. It's beautiful, I'm not gonna lie. I like it, but it looks a little intimidating when it's all laid out. Currently feels like 40 degrees outside. I filmed the beginning part of this video without my AC turned on, but I had to turn it back on. So if you hear a little buzzing noise in the background, bear with me. Not all of the drawer compartments need any like major rethinking, but I do want to go through all of my pens, all of my markers, all of my, you know, writing utensils, and test them out to see if anything has dried up and needs to be thrown out. So when I get started on that, I will assume that there are going to be some things I have to get rid of, so I don't want to have to organize those things and then take them out afterwards. Cue the time lapse. I did my original stationery cart video, one thing I talked about was the fact that I was kind of wanting to store my Tombos horizontally rather than vertically like this stand allows you to do, because especially for the Tombos, I just feel like with this positioning the ink is just dropping away from the tip, and I don't want that because I want these to last as long as possible. And to be honest, I don't really have issues with drying out in these markers, but I still feel like it'd be better to store them horizontally. And I got so many comments of people just telling me to turn this over so that it'd be horizontal. But the problem with that, folks, is if I do that, just be very careful here. That's what happens. Everything comes off, even if I just like push it. It is not stable. So clearly not the answer. However, my mom had these extra bins, I got 2 of them, that she got off of Amazon. I'll have them linked down below. And this, in comparison to this, like you can just see, this is pretty skinny. This one's much wider. If I put some Tombos in here, they don't fall out because they're almost all the way in there. So I think this is gonna be my solution to being able to store them like that. Actually, I don't think, I know. This is what I'm gonna do. You guys know I've been loving craft paper, but I currently just have it in one of these, I think they're technically like magazine holders, but I do not like that. So I have these letter trays from Poppin that stack like that. It was previously on the other side of this unit, but I can take it away from there and use this actually for paper. I was previously using this more for tech. This is gonna solve my issue. So I'm gonna put this here. Let's move you there. Goes like that. Craft paper right there. These are my laminating pouches for my laminator, so I'm gonna put that at the bottom. I think that is much better, so much more accessible. I think I'm gonna start with my cubes on the left side here. Combos get used the most, so I want it as close to the opening of the door as possible. And then on top, I'm gonna put the Crayolas. Looks so good. I really like that I can easily see all the colors, and like there's still enough room that I can make movements and stuff. Nothing's too tightly packed in here. I think this is gonna be really awesome. Now I'm adding my Muji acrylics. These acrylics from Muji are definitely a little bit of a splurge, which as a side note, they do go on sale. So if you're gonna pick them up, I would wait until they do. But the quality of them has really impressed me. I love how super clear they are. They're big enough to hold most of my pens. It just looks really gorgeous. I don't need to label anything because I can see everything, especially in cases like this where there's different sizes. It's so easy to see the numbers. Most of this unit is pens. Most of this unit is highlighters or markers. On the top left drawer, I have my microns and some other fine liners. Then I have my colored microns, my white Faber-Castells, my colored Pentels. So this is more of a colored row. This next row is all Muji. I've got black pens, which I'm gonna take a few of those out and put them on my desk. I have sizes 0.38 and 0.5. I love these pens for everyday writing and I use them all the time in my bullet journal. And then I have some other pens, some colored versions of the gel ink pens, and then I don't know which ones these are called, but they have the clicky clacky thing rather than a cap. And then below that I have all my jelly rolls from Sakura. Of course I use the whites a lot, so I have a lot of whites. This row's looking extra sharp. And then on the bottom I have my Tombow Twin Tones, Sharpie, and some brush pens. And then this unit I've got my Stabilos, my mild liners, Crayola Take Note pens, Muji highlighters, and another row of Crayola highlighters, and these are felt tip markers, I think. I could potentially put stuff on top of here. I'm gonna try and keep it empty just so that it looks very clean. As organized and gorgeous as I find this right now, I really do like the fact that it's behind a closed door, because acrylic storage is great for stationery because you can see everything. But I do feel like even right now it can look cluttered if that's like out in my room and I had like tons of these. So by hiding it, it allows me to like ogle it when I need to, but then I can just clean up the room by closing. Now that I look at this, I actually want this stuff out of here. I thought I'd be able to see it better from out here, but I feel like it just looks cluttered. Below my acrylics, I have my Sterilite organizers. These are great organizers too. Obviously, they're not as flashy as something like this, but they get the job done. I've had this one since first year of university. I think this one came from my parents' place and it's been around forever. Like, they just hold up really nicely. Definitely don't think that you can't get a cute setup on a budget, because I think this still looks amazing. Obviously, like, this is nice to have, but this has been a slow work in progress. Still have my mason jars with my paper clips and my binder clips. And in the top I have my crayons, some dry erase markers, pencils and mechanical pencils, and then this is like the most random drawer of like lead for mechanical pencils, erasers, some pens I didn't know what to do with but that are still really good. And then on this one I have pencil crayons, more Crayola markers, paper mate flares, which are classics, some more Sharpies, some paint pen Sharpies, some Stabilo felt pens, and then at the bottom I just have some more binder clips. So these are things I'm gonna use, but probably won't need to use as often as this stuff up here. So placing them down here was very intentional. This little tin here, I have this beautiful calligraphy set, but it looks like this. And it's got the most beautiful shape with the lid on. It just has this really sleek look. So I'm gonna put it back in its box, but I really wanna make a point of using that. It kind of got lost in here. I also showed you in my desk I had all those stamp pads, so they actually all fit perfectly in this extra long clear pencil pouch. The stamp pads are from Michaels, they'll be linked down below, and the pencil pouch is from Paper Chase, which, if you don't know, Paper Chase is a UK-based stationery brand that you can find at some Hudson's Bay locations. So in Toronto, the locations at Yorkville and at the Eaton Center do have Paper Chase sections. It's perfect because I can see all the colors. I just have to flip it back and forth. Very glad I was able to find a use for this bad boy. Okay, so we're gonna close up this section for now and focus on the cart. This is another one of my favorite acrylics from Muji, and I like it for this cart especially because it kind of disappears. Going in here and just adding some of my most used pens. That's gonna be a spot for all of my staples. I'm still gonna add the Tombow organizer to the right. And this is gonna be where I put any supplies that I pull out for specific plan with me's, journaling sessions. And it's great because then anything I pull out has a home, but then anything that remains in it afterwards I know could be put back. For example, if I were doing a plan with me and I wanted to pick out a pink color palette, I'd choose this Tombow, maybe this Tombow. Pretty sure that's actually the same Tombow color. I'd maybe add some purples and pinks from my Crayola. I'd go in for a mild liner. I'd try out maybe this Crayola Take Note highlighter. And I think this process will just make me make more use of everything rather than just what was on here before. So we'll see how that goes. But now I gotta put everything back. Also, while we're here, please take note of the fact that I did try and color organize this section and these other areas just to make it really easy to pick out colors. See how long that lasts though. I've got my grid rulers. The pink one is from Michaels. The gray or black one is from Muji. I'm gonna slip those in here. This one always just kind of dangles out. Circle tracer, which, should it go here? No, 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 no. I do not like that. It'll go at the bottom there. Actually, maybe I'll even put my rulers at the bottom. Got a pencil holder. This little bag from Matt and Nat that houses a lot of my other stationery needs. So whiteout, glue. Actually, this guy can go over here. Sharpener. The not so pretty stuff. I have this little pouch of paper clips, which I'm just gonna put right there. I think the last thing that I'm going to add is this little trash can. And I think this will be perfect for collecting the trash that I accumulate while journaling. So sometimes I have scraps of paper or washi tape or whatever that I just end up like putting in the cart and dealing with later. But if I have a designated spot, then I can just quickly empty it out at the end of each session. I'm gonna put that right there. And I think that's it. This cart is my favorite thing in the world. I highly recommend getting one if you have the space for it. From IKEA, it will be linked below. I'm gonna slip you over here. Even though I had wanted all my stationery in one space, I am gonna have to put my clear stamps back in my desk drawer. I'm also gonna add in some stickers, some little post-it flags, space everything out so that I can see it. Maybe I'll put those there. And there we go. And then up top, I'm gonna put my washi tapes, some erasers, black ink for my fountain pen, some highlighters, and my stapleless stapler. I forgot about my craft envelopes. Gonna add those to the bottom stack here. For my desk, I have another one of these clear acrylics from Muji. I'm gonna put my Stabilo Swing Cool highlighters so that I have easy access to highlighters. Some mild liners, fountain pen, and then I have these great ballpoint pens. These two are from Lamy. I like their accordion clicker, and these ones are from Poppin. A very cute vibe going on right here. The only thing that I'm kind of stuck with what to do with is all of this loose paper. I use these materials for my bullet journaling, but I don't really know how I'm gonna properly store it. Most of them aren't even like a regular letter size sheet of paper. If they were, I feel like I'd be able to put them in a binder, but this makes things a little bit more difficult. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comment section. I think Michael's has plastic bins that carry this size sheet. Maybe I'll look into getting one of those. For now, I'm gonna cut it up. Put this all into a sheet protector. Add a binder clip to keep it all together. And at least temporarily, that's gonna do. Last thing there is to do is to put my extra supplies in my extras bin. And there we go. Considering laminating these little pen test sheets, but I think I'm gonna wait and do it properly because I kind of got messy with it as time went on. I'm so happy with how this all turned out. My cart is looking very clean. Definitely more subtle changes, but I feel like this is going to really change the way that I use my supplies. That's why I really love regular organization, because sometimes you organize a space and you think it's gonna work for you, but then once you live in it, you start to find things that can be improved. So I think I've made the improvements that need to happen. I'm sure in like a year from now, I'm gonna come back and be like, wait, there's more that we can do. I also really like the fact that I was able to use a lot of the things I already had to organize. I didn't have to spend any money, which is nice. Free is nice. Unfortunately, that is a result of tons of non-free organization sessions prior to this one, but glad that at least this time I escaped. My wallet escaped. So yeah, I hope this video maybe gave you some ideas for organizing your own stationery, or just was a fun time to watch. I know I really enjoy seeing what pens and pencils and highlighters people have in their collection. Like this video if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already. I would love to know in the comment section down below if there was a specific aspect about this organization session that you really enjoyed. Also, if you have any stationery organizing hacks for me, please share them. And I will see you all very soon with a new video. And until then, bye everyone. You are looking so good, you. We should all just start taking bets on how long it's gonna take me to ruin the cleanness that has happened to this cart. I am not optimistic. This chair just always squeaks. Why do you always squeak? Did I say bye? I said bye, right? Okay. Bye, guys.